Hi, Canada. A collaborative Sunday service.
We were feeling to start with the nickname.
Yeah, we have the theme for the talk that we felt today was an invitation to innocence, and just having to just remember that that's what it's all about. And this intensity that comes up at times, it's so important to remember that it's about moving through that intensity, and that it's inevitable that we'll be guided through that intensity to remember. Yeah, so I had a pretty intense morning on both extremes, like a lot of joy and then a lot of fear, basically, that came up for me when the idea of this Skype call came in, and then it seemed to be like I would have to set it all up myself and do the service, and I just felt overwhelmed. And as I was doing it, and I was feeling like really present, but still moving through something, Sarah came up to me and said, "Remember that she's gonna do a little song, or a rap song that she wrote, a poem, and it's called Fail
Now.
Fail Now." And I love the idea that the only way to wake up is to completely fail as a human being, and to be okay with that, just to let go of trying to be good or try to get things right or any of that. So that was a very helpful moment for me. Yeah, that's right.
That's our opening.
Yeah.
That's our opening. So, how back can you?
That's right.
You want to go up from there.
Yeah.
Not by our own power.
Yeah.
And I am feeling that to start with that, because it contains most of what I feel to share, and most of what I've been learning over the last while, and most of what I needed to release. This death threat in the mind, some idea of messing it up, and so it became about embracing the exact opposite of everything that I would think would say I'm not innocent. And embracing it, allowing it to all come back in and be forgiven. And there, it's more like, can't touch this. It's more like MC Hammer then. Just innocent and, dancing around in balloon pants or whatever is called for. It just, there's nowhere you can be attacked if you're a fool for God. Gauche, giggling, inappropriate, anything.
Yeah.
And innocent.
And that was what someone said this morning, wasn't it? Or you said it actually. It was similar. Someone said it. About trying to keep composure. That's what the human being is always trying to do: is to maintain composure, to keep the cool, to keep on the face of innocence.
Yeah.
And we have to be a fool. We have to let ourselves just completely crack.
Yeah, that's what everyone loved about Bridget Jones, and in the end, it's what the Colin Firth character loved about her. She wasn't lacquered. She was exactly as she was, and he could then love every inch of her exactly as she was, and that's the invitation to be accepted and loved. This moment, just exactly as we are. Because if we have to earn it, if we have to do one step for worthiness, then we're maintaining the unworthiness, and we're not released from anything.
Yeah, I think David talked about that the other day too, about how even when we go on a spiritual journey, how even then it's like, then we're trying to be a good spiritual, person, or a good follower, or a good, whatever. And even trying to be a good follower it's like pressure. Oh, I better follow the Holy Spirit perfectly, or else, He's going to punish me in some way, or I will be. And it's very difficult down that road.
We're just instantly activated into the truth of being, instead of there actually being a journey, it's just one holy instant where there's a true recognition of everything at once.
Yeah.
Full activation, full true identity. There's, just a complete dropping of any other thought instantly.
Fail now. Let's hear
Fail
it.
now. Okay. So we might need to check the levels on this, so I don't have to totally shout at first.
Right. Yeah. So we have.
So I'll let you
so
be
we
my
have
mix
music.
master there on the sound. And
yeah.
I think you'll have a
Maybe we
fun
can
version.
move this mic so they can hear you a little bit
Okay.
clearer. I'll try to. It's not very light, long cable, but.
I can wiggle over near.
Yeah. There we go. Good swap seats.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
We're on wheels.
And then I'll just adjust
We got
this
moves.
to start that. Yeah.
Okay. It can be a bit louder. Fail. Fail now. For once and for all. Surrender. Give up all desire to run the show, to succeed, to know anything, to fix anything, to see a world that requires your participation. Fail now. Don't postpone. Fail now. Failing, falling, flat on your face. It's essential for the resurrection. Let it all collapse. No longer postpone joy in the face of making do. Submit to having absolutely no control over the nightmare and allow His love to gently rouse you with a happy dream. Fail now. Let forgiveness of illusions succeed. Waste not another moment of your innocence in trying to defend guilt or manifest evidence of worth. Fail now. Fail to distract or cover your worthiness. Let the light that shines behind overwhelm the shadow of what never was. Lay flat, unencumbered by hope. Fail now. Fail now. Let your plans of resurgence fall flat. Let the full blast of the love that has been chasing you down your whole life, let it capture the moment, trip you up, tumble you into the relief of truth. Fail now. Do not hold on for one more minute. Fail now. Spectacularly and with wild abandon. Fail now. Fall into the arms of God and sublime eternity. Fail now. Exactly as you are. Fail now. Innocent. Fail now. Beloved.
Oh, we are? Yeah. Now.
You.
So I had chanting, because that's what goes for chanting around here. I had chanting one day, and I had just received an email from Lisa with a song, and it was a totally different song with a totally different tempo, but as I heard it, all those words arose. It was my theme for the day. It was like, I have to be completely willing to not even participate. I have to be completely willing to just relinquish all activity coming from this personal self. I have to fail completely. That was the word that had the strongest death threat for me. I said I have to fail completely, and yeah, that's my gift of innocence. That's, you know, and even sharing it in that moment in the chanting, to come out and decide I was going to rap or speak loudly over Eminem, whatever. It was. Yeah, I had to move past thoughts in my mind as well. But the strength and the force that was coming through. And it says, it's the start of Cody's song, Return to Innocence, don't be afraid to be weak and don't be afraid to be strong.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as we're on that continuum of trying to be something, it's like there's always an opposite, whether we're trying to participate more or we're withdrawing. It's like they're both on this continuum of personhood, and there's no win. There's no way to win there. Like we're always going to either feel like we're disappointing ourselves or that we're disappointing others, and we're going to just keep getting these reflections. But fortunately, I love that metaphor about the course correction that David brought up. It's like when a rocket ship goes up to the moon, it's never going straight to the moon. It's never facing the moon really, except for like the brief moments when it passes the course. Like it's veered off, and then it has to correct, and then it has to correct again, and so we're constantly, seemingly going back and forth between the two opposites, whether it doesn't matter whether we seem to be being a bad person or a good person, or withdrawing from people, or like really participating and collaborating with people. We seem to be like going back and forth, and it's just all like undoing. It's like fortunately the whole universe is conspiring to help us stay on track, and it's just impossible that we won't reach the destination. We're already there. But in experience, it just seems like, like we're just constantly flipping. And Lila and I were joining this morning in the kitchen a little bit, and I was just expressing to her how it just, wow, this is so intense. Like it feels like lately for me, my experience has just been that that things have just been ramped up in my mind, like this intensity of, like I have to be so present to the spirit and so present to just to my mind, and sometimes it feels like there's all this joy pouring through, and that there's all this joy being reflected, and other times it feels like there's this fog, and then sometimes these reflections from people of like, you're dead, like you need to, like, what's wrong with you, and it's like really intense. It's like but it works. It's like the whole universe is conspiring to help wake the mind up. So it's like I have to be grateful for all of it, and avoid, just be really really attentive to the temptation to project the problem either onto this body, oh I'm a problem, or that body, like that's the problem, that they shouldn't be like blaming me right now or whatever, they should be more kind. It's like that's the thought that sometimes comes up for me. This is too intense, like give me some gentleness here, but we watched that movie last night. What was it called? Eagle Eye. And David had actually recommended that to me a few days ago as a movie that's like just all about staying so open, like so present, and so like I don't know anything. I don't know my own best interests, and so the only way to escape the nightmare is to follow, is to just be really willing to follow each step that's given. And the moment the mind gets into questioning, like questioning guidance, and of course we're all going through a process of I think the reason we question is because we're still trying to discern, well, what is the guidance? How do I know that's the guidance? Or what's, how can I tell if that's really the guidance from the spirit, or maybe that's the ego tempting me into a dark hole? But you just have to, we're all just doing our best. As we get closer to the light, it seems like what we joined on in the kitchen was, it's like a ping pong ball, like moving, it's like the walls are caving in. It feels like, it can feel like there's a collapsing of going on, and we're ping ponging back and forth between the two ways of being, whether it's, again, like being good or being bad or being a, you know, whatever it is, however, whatever we're dealing with in our mind. I'm trying to do this, but I'm leaning toward here, and you know, we're always trying to grapple with two ways of being, and so it's like a ping pong, and it can seem very extreme, but eventually the walls will collapse, and it seems like the ping pong ball will pop, you know, and that's where it's all leading, and it seems like a horrible death, like, I'm a ping pong ball, and the walls are crushing me, and sometimes it even feels like a pressure in my head, like my head is getting compressed or something, but, you know, but then there's those moments of like, release.
Yeah, so we just have to decide that the bat is the guidance. We decide it up front and we just go for the bat. As the ball, like I just say, take me now.
Yeah.
You know, knock me back and forth into the dead center where I just get to like,
yeah,
where I'm still, you know. And even within that movement, somehow there's a stillness that can be had now. Within that, there's this complete surrender to that, what looks like motion, but really it's a bit like when you see something happening very fast, the ball actually looks like it's in the middle all the time. It's like keeping our focus there and accepting that the bat is the guidance. And it's a decision that we make, and therefore we're on board with the decision, and we don't have to question how it looks. We're just on board. We're in the center,
yeah,
we're with it. And there can't actually be any conflict, even if there looks like extreme movement.
Yeah, and I find myself just the idea that I can't mess it up. It's the script is written. We don't really have any control over any of it. It's happening, or it seems to be happening. It's unfolding. Our awakening is unfolding, and it's really just a matter of, am I going to just like relax and accept what is or what seems to be, or am I going to resist what seems to be? And those are really like the only two choices. I can either be in resistance to what is, or like Byron Katie's book, loving what is. Just, okay, this must be for my healing. This must be as intense or as unwanted as this seems to be. You know, it must be for my healing. And then everything is seen as helpful. Everything. I don't know if anyone, we talked about if there was a reading, or if anyone, or you know, feels like there's something maybe next that's
coming down. And then, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Coming down, all this stuff was happening that you're talking about. And I came and sat down and thought, oh, it's home. There's peace, and all of those thoughts were impinging as I was coming down. And you were talking about it, and it's like no private thoughts. It's just an openness and a willingness to just be totally present and know that I have no private thoughts. And before I came over, I was just quietly, I just opened myself up to you, David, over there, and thought there are no private thoughts. It's just open. What's inside the ping pong ball? And it could be a ping pong ball, let's just use that term, a ping pong ball in a windstorm, blown hither, wherever, or to be completely present. And then when it pops, then there's spirit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's beautiful. Thanks, all of you guys. And it's lovely to come here where there's a gathering and where it's just thank you.
to ask something. Where was the inspiration for the return to innocence? Where did that come from?
Cody.
Yeah.
And where does the inspiration come to you?
Cody.
It's come from me pitching fits lately and having a lot
Pitching
of
fits.
rage and just frustration. And even this morning, I just had to explode and just express all this, resistance that I've been having to these long talks that we all share in. And then, yeah, even after spewing all this just hatred, it's just, I've been so held and blessed, and everyone still loves me, and I'm still seeing this reflection that I am innocent, in the midst of it all. And yeah, so it's for me. I'm still innocent.
I loved your poem. Thank you for that. As you were reading that, I kept thinking of the very first step of the 12-step program that I'm involved in, and that is, we admitted we were powerless and that our lives were unmanageable. We talk about fail now, and from that is the foundation of all the freedom and the joy and the peace that comes from that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Just absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I love, fail now. Why wait? Why wait for that joy to happen? We can accept that right here, right now. So what a beautiful message. What a beautiful thing. And it is in our innocence. It ties together. To fail now and realize our innocence, the glory that's behind that is just beautiful and exciting and joyful and freeing. So yeah, thank you. Beautiful.
That's good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're hoping to take you the whole way with this service. We're starting with the rotten fruit. We're going backwards to the seed and the innocence, and then we're going to flourish at the end with the licensing of the new. So yeah, we're going to take you the whole way through. We have our butterfly sitting on the couch over there, just ready to flit off on a tour. So we're going to just have a little ceremony to honor that, just at the end.
And someone in Canada is being licensed too, right?
Yes. Craig,
Craig,
I believe,
yeah.
is being commissioned today. Yeah. And so we'll be naturally handing over to Canada at that point for that part. Did you want to play a song?
Sure, yeah. So it came in the thought of playing a song, and the only song that was popping in my mind was the one I played it quite often at services, This Disguise, and it's a song I wrote a while back about dropping the disguise of the self. And it was interesting actually, because this morning when I was lying in bed, I expressed this earlier, but I had this moment of seeing the self-concept of Erik, and this feeling of having to say goodbye to it. Really, like I could sense it was like dissolving, and it felt the same way it would feel to like say goodbye to a dear loved one to like watch them die. And I'd never had that experience before. It was like, wow, I have to say goodbye to Erik, and yeah, it was pretty profound moment. So yeah, this song might encapsulate that. Sometimes I take myself a little bit too seriously. I fall into the trap of thinking that I know what's best for me. skies, but it's not true that I'm without you. 'Cause your heart is in my heart, and my heart is in your heart. I feel you moving through me. Yes, I feel you moving through. Look into the future 'cause I'm scared of what could happen to me. And I wanna keep pretending I can't understand this mystery. I know I've got a lot of arrogance and pride, and this dream has been away from me. But it's only 'cause I thought I was alone. I put on this disguise, but it's not true that I'm without you. 'Cause your heart is in my heart, and my heart is in your heart, and I feel you moving through me. No, it's not true that I'm without you. 'Cause your heart is in my heart, and my heart is in your heart, and I feel you moving through me. Yes, I feel you moving through. Yes, I feel you moving through me. Yes, I feel you moving through. But I've got to let go and be true to who I am. And I've got to trust you and let you lead me by the hand. And I've got to let go of my arrogance and pride. Just let you love me. I don't need this disguise. It's not true that I'm without you. Your heart is in my heart, and my heart is in your heart, and I feel you moving through me. No, it's not true that I'm without you. 'Cause your heart is in my heart, and my heart is in your heart, and I feel you moving through me. Feel you moving through me. Yes, I feel you moving through me. Yes, I feel you moving through. Yes, I feel you moving through.
It's like I'm doing a resistance.
Yeah.
Totally like, you couldn't have anything left after that.
It's clearing the pipe. Alright, Spirit, wash me clean.
Lids off.
Blow the pipes clean.
And now available on Spreaker anytime you need it. Just press play. Mwah.
Wow. My heart's going boom, boom.
You got to play for Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You're part of the tour.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels so good. I don't think I ever feel more alive than when when that's happening, you know, when the song is just coming through and it's just, and yeah, it's great.
It had the same pace as the frenetic close table tennis too.
Yeah,
It's like, woo!
Yeah.
Same here. Pipes getting blasted through.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Like that, it doesn't have to be that we have to wait on time to collapse the ping pong. It's like we can just like see the whole thing. Like you said, when it's moving so fast, it's just like one image.
And static.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because undoing would never be over. Undoing of a person would never be over. It's not that either.
Yeah. Yeah. It's only now. It'll never happen in the future. It can only happen in reality. Yeah, that seems like that's a leap, you know, to the highest idea. Like it can't be done. Awakening can't happen because it can only be recognized as the isness that is.
I want to share something. And right now, I'm just feeling like the flip side of having a lot of rage, just, you know, on the other side of having a lot of rage come through the day. I had an order from Sarah to just run around the block real quick before continuing trying to do any setup for this morning, and yeah, it just does feel like just such a purge. I mean, it was really intense in the moment, but it's just so rewarding to face it and to come out the other side, because now I feel just such a burst in joy. So, yeah, just to share that.
Thank you. Thank you for the willingness to. We had just talked about you never discover you're innocent unless you're just released, unless you allow all of what's there in any given moment, whether it's giggling and gauche or whether it's like ass, I think is what you described you were giving us. So like unless you, how would you ever know really if you tried to keep it together and be perfect? So. And actually the first time that I let it all fall down, I got a round of applause and I was so stunned.
Yeah.
I was in the kitchen with Lisa and Charles and I just lost it over cans of soda that he needed stacked in a perfect order in the fridge, and I lost the plot and I just said everything I was thinking, and then I heard Lisa was standing behind me, you know, and I want that for everyone. I want that experience. And it felt like delicious innocence. That's all, like a cracked open apple, that's all I could describe it as. I had never experienced it before. I had never experienced it before, and I was like, oh wow, oh wow, we gotta share this. Like this is it. We gotta experience this all the time, as much as possible. And it actually only comes from going where you're being told in your mind never to go, never to show.
Yeah. It's such a great idea, the idea of just cracking open, like letting the self, the small self, just completely crack. And it's such a great feeling. Like I've always enjoyed the times when I felt like I was cracking and I just broke down into tears. It's like, you know, it feels so good to cry, and then the laughter always follows. I've had times where I've just cried, laughed, cried, like back, where it becomes like a merge of the crying and laughing. It's like one it's like, and like it's the greatest experience I think one can have. Is that experience of just to wash.
It's like Humpty Dumpty doesn't get put back together again.
Yeah.
It cracks, and I'm sitting here going, this just feelings just, and it's okay. It's okay. It's just readjusting and not being ashamed or embarrassed about the thoughts, because I thought I said, hold those thoughts in because they might affect someone, and it's so clear. And so I can just be there and know these two will just dissolve, and I don't know how to explain it, but you did, and so it's okay. I can sit here and I listen to Cody, and he's talking about he was feeling, because I was feeling, I thought, I'm coming in with a shopping bag full of junk, that I can let go. I don't have to keep it. Thank you. And David, I wanted to say that last time we were talking about this movie Eden, so I had to, when things come out of people's mouths and I go, quick look it up. So I look up the movie Eden, which is about this woman in Australia, and I get this film on sex trafficking. And so I look at this thing and go, oh my gosh, they're in this prison. And I realized at the school, if I was doing that in innocence, trapping these children because I have these preconceived ideas about how it's supposed to be, is that any difference? Is there any difference in miracles? Is there any difference in what comes up? And so it has cracked my egg. Okay, and so... Oh my gosh! Okay, and that's sufficient end to the moment.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewrite that song and just probably ring my bell and go crack my egg.
Crack my shell.
Crack my shell.
Oh my gosh! So,
crack my shell, my shell, crack my shell.
oh my gosh.
Blazing light.
Yeah.
We're going to start handing over now, actually, to David and whoever else is feeling to speak in Canada. And I'll get you to swap the key.
Great. Okay, thanks you guys.
Oh, thank you, Erik.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're going to come up there.
Hey, Ricky and Kirsten are waving at you.
Oh, beautiful. I think we can unmute them.
Well, they have to unmute themselves.
They have to unmute themselves. Yeah, which direction, yeah.
You guys can
Hey, you guys can look at that screen and then I can see.
Oh, okay. Cody might need to turn up our sounds.
We can't hear, I can't hear Kirsten. She said I heard my name, but
That's it. Bring the mountain.
Oh, that's
Too
beautiful.
oh yeah, it's too.
Oh, it's a rookie sitting there. There's Rick Imaging.
Yeah, for those of you on Spreaker, we've got the Canada gang are having a retreat there near Calgary. So we've got David, I see Michael Salita, Ricky,
Jessica.
Jessica. Okay, Diane's gonna
I know
do
where
this
they
one.
are.
So we have David here now.
Yeah, David.
Okay, thank you. Well, we've been enjoying so beautifully. They're like, they're not going down a little bit.
Just
Maybe ours.
Yeah.
We're getting a feedback loop
yeah, I think yours.
from over there. Yeah, we could probably have hand signals for
Oh, gee.
But yeah, we've been enjoying the service, and we wanted to have at the end of the service both the licensing here of Nikita and a commissioning of Craig. So we're going to go forward with that right now. So to us, again, we always reiterate that the living church, living miracles and the living church is a state of mind. So the state of mind doesn't have any degrees or gradations or hierarchies. It's just the present moment, just being vibrantly joyful and a representation of the living Christ mind in the moment. That's how simple it is. So everything else is the window dressing. Everything else is just mere symbols. And the symbols in and of themselves don't mean anything, and yet symbols can be used for a time and be helpful. And so as part of our church and the symbols, we have commissioned ministers and licensed ministers and ordained ministers. And ultimately, the goal is, of course, to just let go of all words, of all sights, of all sounds, and just be in the experience of union with God. And that is really all that this is about. But starting off here with Nikita, it's really an honor for all of us to have you licensed today, because you have done what the apostles were asked to do, which was leave all behind. And you have done that, and then after you just came, having left all behind, then you had to face trials and temptations of believing that you could be personally treated well or mistreated, that you could actually have something that would personally benefit you or be personally against you, and just dive into that experience of just being the living experience of Christ, and not hold on to the metaphors, and not hold on to the stepping stones, and just come into the simplicity of being present. And so we talked about that a while ago. The rug got pulled out from under you, and as devastating as that can be to the ego, the spirit rejoices that experience happens when you let go of holding on to the ego and its many little petty preferences, and you just totally say to God, I'm yours now, and take me, and I want union with you and nothing else. And so this is just a symbol today for really it's for the world. I know licensed minister doesn't mean a whole lot to you, but it's actually just a symbol for that the world can use. And that could be part calling card to bring the good news of innocence and happiness and joy to the world. But you're beyond the calling card. You're way beyond the calling card. And we're just coming together to honor the presence that you are and that you radiate and extend. So thank you for coming, and thank you for saying yes to God and being a beacon of love. And now, you can unmute your mic, and so we can all hear, and you can just share whatever's on your heart, whatever you'd like to share with all of us.
Well, may I just say this was very spontaneous. Found out, I think maybe an hour ago that I'm getting licensed, and I was like, that's great, yay. Don't know what that means, but feel the vibe. Feel the vibe, and it was so great, because just appreciation for the present moment, how it's so, really don't know. As we were sitting here trying to
feeling and what are we doing for Sunday service? And it felt so steady, as if it's like, okay, set. Just when we thought we knew what was happening, the rug gets pulled out, Canada is in, it's like a whole bunch of things are happening. It's like I'm getting licensed all of a sudden, and it's like, whoa! There's just like this energy in the air. It's like, what's happening? What's going on? And I was like, just go with it now. Don't question, go with it. You'll know what to do, right? It was just, and again, it was so, I don't even know, you just like, the wave was like, wow. And then all of it, of course, is for the experience of a deeper joy. And we talked about it last night, and that's where the innocence came in. We were a little bit dismantled last night, like we're just like, what's happening? And all we could hear, come together. And it felt like we all went separate ways. A bunch of us went for a walk on our own, and then we all heard at the same time, come back. So it looked like we didn't find what we were looking for. None of us. We all had a purpose. Like I went to the store looking for something. I know Jason went to get something, but we didn't get any of it, right? It's like we didn't find it, but we all heard, come back. And we came back, and it was so obvious that we had to have a joining. There's just a call for a deeper joining, and it felt like there's some kind of a problem. But it was all like internet kept going off, and we felt like it's internet. We need the internet. It's serious, right? But as we got together, we felt like it was just all a call: come together, closer, right? Even the internet blinking, go, join. And so as we were joining, we're like we're still a little bit kind of like we don't know what's going on, maybe a bit of fear. And then as we were joining and sharing our thoughts, it just became so clear, we're just stepping into deeper experience of innocence. We're innocent. It was just so obvious, and so it was just so apparent. And then that we were just to go with that and just go deeper, and it's safe, and this is why we're all in it together. And then that's how we went to sleep, and we woke up and we were sharing the innocence, the joy of innocence. And again, last night we even decided, we're all in prayer, and we watched the movie Eagle Eye, how we really do want to be so vigilant to the Spirit, and we don't want to question it, because that's where the joy is, and that's where feeling alive is. So we're just like, well, whatever, there's that permission in the heart, desire in the heart, Spirit, we're yours now. Do whatever you feel. It's like you know how to bring us to that joy. We just want to be with you, and we want to feel alive. So the rest, do whatever you feel. And it's just in the morning, everything that happened, it was just very quick answer to our prayer to stay alive. Stay alive, be in the Spirit, and be in the present moment, because things like that, it gets you so in the present moment, so fast, and there's seemingly a time limit, but we know it's not that. It's our desire of our heart to just be so present with Spirit, no matter what. Right now, right? Not in half an hour, but right now. And so it's very joyous. It is very, it's very good, and it's just like you just know Spirit's got it. We don't even need to worry. I was thinking, it's like there's not one dull moment here, right? It's just it's all so rich and alive, and we don't need to think how that's going to happen. Spirit's got it. We don't even need to think what if we get bored? That's not an option. It's not an option. That's not an option. It's and it's just that experience of love, that we're loved so much. Spirit is always just it's almost like when we're saying, I'm happy, everything's okay, I'm good, I'm in a good place. Spirit's like, you can be happier, No. I think you can be happier. And there you go, it's just everything. You're just extending that our joy to full potential. So yeah, and just watching how everyone quickly just snapped out, like even like Cody was sharing how he had some stuff happening, which I didn't even know, but then next thing he knows, I see him, look at him, and he's in the joy. Everyone is in the joy in that deep, peaceful place where you can, from which you can actually really extend. So yeah, I'm just very grateful, and I'm very, it was a surprise. And I like surprises. And thank you. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much. It's like that's the way. It's like that would be, well, that would be the way that I'd like to be commissioned, whatever, walk further, with you. With you. So, like, thank you. And it is simple, but I know it's, I don't know. It's like I don't know what that means, but I know all things are working for me to just be deeper in the joy, and I just trust it. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but
License
yay!
License to thrill, Nikita.
Yeah,
You're licensed to thrill. To the spirit.
Thank you.
And the support, like I just want to I really want to say thank you, for the support. It's just, this support that I feel, you just know it's not of this world. It's just in everything, in every eye, in every glance, in every touch, in every, the support is, wow. I don't even know what to say. It's like to say I'm supported. It's like, that doesn't even cut it. It's just, I truly am carried. I am so carried. That's so obvious. I even feel like if there's even a little bit, when even there's a little bit of thought of I need to do something, right? And spirit just cuts me off right away, and it feels so, ugh. And then I'll hear, next thing you know, I'll hear it, and then I heard it last night, because, we're doing the tour, and we're all very excited, right? And I was eager to do the postings, and then I would go, and internet would go off, and all kinds of things are happening, and I'm just like, I gotta get on it. And then as we were having the meeting, I heard, you're gonna have to let me love you, my friend, So I wasn't even allowed to handle that. So it's like, everything is so, it's like I said, my job has been just open up to be, my job has been to open up to love and just let, just allow myself to be loved, really, deeper and deeper and deeper, just acceptance of love, that's all, that's all I've been doing. Yes, thank you all so, I can't do it, I don't, thank you. Oh, darling, thank you. Thank
Kiss
you.
you for all.
I love you, I just love you so much, so much. You're you are my dream come true. Yeah, everything. This is the other day, Jason and I went for a movie and a dinner, and it was just, I was like, this is it. This is my happy dream. I'm officially, this is the happy dream. This is it. This is it. Welcome to the happy dream. Welcome to my happy dream.
Beautiful. We've got Craig as well. Going to join us.
Okay. Well, and Craig's here with us now. And so, can you all see Craig?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, Craig Craig came here to this community, and like so many, just took one step after another of just following what was in his heart, because as he was sharing with us at dinner last night, that it has to be about living this. It has to be about living this. It's not enough to study. It's not enough, to memorize. It's not enough to practice. As important as practice is, and I always talk about how the spiritual journey is 1% principle and 99% practice. But even as important as practice is, you could tell when he was sharing at dinner last night that it's all about living it. So it's been a process of immersing here. I think there was a devotional that Mel mentioned, and then a process of going back to what seemed to be his former life. And it's the same for all of us. We have a concept in our mind of who we think we are and what we think the possibilities are for our life and the potentials, and we don't really have a clue how big it is, how vast it goes, how our life can be transformed in the twinkling of an eye. And so in coming back now here to the devotional center, he's gone from a devotional to now he's living in a devotion, and he's living a life of devotion. And that's really the symbol of commissioning, is when Jesus commissioned the apostles to go out and share the good news. When anyone is commissioned, it's really saying, go forth and let this state of mind of the Christ presence grow stronger and stronger and stronger in your awareness, and share it freely. And so even before he was commissioned as a minister, he went back to his course group in his town, and the word got out that Craig was back in town. And people drove from miles around to come and see him, and the Spirit spoke through him, and it kept speaking and speaking and shining, and he thought, I've got a 4 o'clock in the morning flight. I really am going to have to close this up at some point. But there was another part of him that didn't want to leave, even though he had to catch a 4 o'clock in the morning plane. When did the course group finally end?
10 o'clock.
About 10 o'clock at night. He finally ended the group and it was over. But that's kind of the joy and the presence of commissioning. You're being commissioned by the Spirit to share the good news of the Gospels, of the Course, of the joy of living and being in the presence of Christ. So it's been beautiful for us to be here, because there are many in our community that just keep hanging on there with their love and their devotion, and this is just a symbol that comes along among symbols, and then there can be other symbols, but really we're not focused on the symbols, we're really focused on living this presence. So a lot of seeming changes have taken place in Craig's life as he's come here just to give himself full allowance to immerse, and even coming back to this devotional center, then Mel and Michael were waiting for him with a leadership position and a giant list of things from a massive retreat center, and said, here's your gift. Now that you're back, we're going to give you this gift of this giant list. And he's dove right in with the list. And the only way you can do that in joy is have the Spirit do it through you, because there's no way a human being can handle a list. We've all tried that. I mean, most of us spend our life trying to handle to-do lists and so on and so forth. And this isn't like a little quiet cabin in the woods. This is a big place. So we're just really, again, honored that Craig is on this journey with us, and we're really honored for everyone who comes to be with us. It's not really what the world would call like a growing ministry. It's more, the deeper we go and the more in alignment we come in with Christ, it's more like the shrinking ministry. Where the world just has like a bitter taste in its mouth and it wants to spit out the Christ. And we like to chew on it and suck on it and keep it in and let any bitterness that still seems to be there, let that be taken out of us. That we would not see an error, that we would not hold anything against anyone. We would always see them as the Christ and rejoice. So I'll just open it up, and Craig, you might want to share a few words of what you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I was really struggling this morning because my ego is going, like Erik was talking about, is this the death of Craig? Is this it? Everything I thought it was. You have to surrender that. And then all of a sudden, there's just, as I hand it over, it says, you're not surrendering, you're not losing anything. Look at all you're gaining. Look at all the people you come into contact, all the people who allow you to fall apart. All the people you can just be. And you get to extend, you get to share that with everybody. And I'm just so blessed to be able to do that. And we have this retreat coming up. And I remember 2 years ago, the Cross Canada tour came by and someone said, go do this. I'm like, all right. So something told me to go visit this. And there's Jason and Erik, and I got to meet them. And all right, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but this is what I'm meant to do. And now we're doing this retreat, and Jason's brother's coming, and you're just like, oh, everything's just, it's just, you can't even put words into it, you can't even control it. And now we have David here, we have, it's new people, and it's just, it doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. We were talking about last night. We took the brake off, and oh my God, like the doors are blowing off, everything's gone. When I first came here, I thought I was putting in a little box, okay, this is my box. If I fix this, I'll be happy. Forget the box, it doesn't matter. It's all gone. And it was, you talk about, okay, this is just a title, or this is just whatever. When I was vacuuming, Nellie calls me and goes, can you come in here, please? I'm like, what's up? She's like, okay, we feel you should be doing this. And I was like, I didn't know what it means, what it is, or none of us knows what it means, anything. Okay. So was I yes? I'm like, yes, I guess, I don't know. I'm saying yes to you don't know what it is. And we sat for a minute, she goes, okay, go back. Okay. That's it. And it's not about me. It's just about all of us calling for this extension, this just, you guys allowed me to fall apart, and I'm allowing, and just want to give that back to everybody. So, yeah, it's, whew. Yeah, it's just wow. So, thank you, everybody. And it's just,
Okay, anyone else want to share? Do you want to share anything? You can have the reluctant ordained minister. I don't know what it is, but just, you're ready for it.
He said, I don't know what it means.
I know. None of us know what it means. That's the beautiful thing. We're having fun.
We came down and rang the bell and told everyone, you can go back. No, I just feel very honoured to have Craig here and to have everybody here, really. I think it's just, Michael and I have said many times, is like if your text could just, it's going right with it, it's speaker on it, so it was just beautiful. Keep hearing the prompt word and yes, it's just lovely. So thank you for showing up and saying yes, you're the best of us.
We don't know what it means.
Somehow I keep feeling happy.
Yeah. What else? I know. The couch? Michael?
Oh, just so grateful. Yeah, for all of it. It's just, it's the vibe and the life. It's like the way, the truth, and the life is just this energy that we're all coming into feeling. And we're it. It's like Christ is who we are. And it just feels like we're all in such a welcome of it and such a yes of it. And to join in that together is fantastic. There's really nothing else that we're interested in or that can pull us or draw us away. And yeah, to just come up here, and we just met Anna. She's just shown up and been here. Like she came here, I think, the night before Christmas, and so her entry into the place has just been these kind of joinings. And she's just like, yeah, this is my heart. And I can't believe that you're all here too. It's like, we're just falling into it together, and it's what we've always wanted. And it's just such an honor and a blessing to be in this yes together. So, yeah. We can say we don't know what it means, but we do know what it means. We feel it in our hearts. It's just beyond kind of intellectual thinking. But it's like, yeah, what it means is an experience that we know. You know, it's like the knowing is the capital N. Oh, it's capital K. It's beyond spelling, it's beyond it. It's just in our heart. Yeah, we know it. We know it. And so, I love you guys so much too. Thank you. Oh, love you. You want to say something?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, it's a song. Hey, Anna has a song.
Anna has a song. We want to sit there and
Yeah, instruments.
I can't believe it, but this song it's just changed. It's just changed. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There?
Communicate clearly.
This song actually, it started when I first read the chorus. The beginning of the song is this poem that came through that I really just can't take credit for because I've never even put those words together, and I have no idea where it came from. But I just as we have all been talking today, I had just an amazing revelation because the song used to be called Right Mind, but now it's called Christ Mind, because I realized that Christ's mind is beyond the right mind. It's just being here. There's just no else to be. It's so beautiful. We don't have to even worry. We don't have to worry about what is right or wrong, because if we're in Christ's mind, we are. We just are. Oh my gosh, and I'm just so blessed for all of you because I feel like I'm home now and just
for a week.
It honestly feels like my entire life. Don't be afraid, child of me, burn that light, get it with me, burn it bright for all to see, burn it bright eternally, burn it bright till the day you die. Know that death is an illusion of time, so forever you shine, so forever you shine, so forever you shine, so forever you shine, so forever you shine. I was never born, I will never die, so I will continue to be the light. And you were never born, and you will never die, so what are you waiting for? Forever you shine, so forever you shine, so forever you shine, so forever you shine. Time to discontinue all that sense of worry, all that sense of fury. It's time to discontinue everything you think you have to do, things that aren't true. It's time to undo everything holding you back from the truth and open up to the light. Open up to the Christ light. Open up to the light and forever you shine. Open up to the Christ light. I was never born, I will never die, so I will continue to be the light. And you were never born, and you will never die, so what the hell are you waiting for? Forever you shine, so forever you shine, so forever you shine, so forever you shine. Open up to the light. Open up to the Christ light. Open up to the light and forever you'll shine. Open up to the Christ light. I was never born, no, I will never die, so I will continue to be the light. You were never born, no, you will never die, so what the hell are you waiting for? Forever you shine, forever you shine, forever you shine. All is fine in the Christ mind, in the Christ mind. Forever you shine, forever you shine.
Yeah.
And our very own radio station, and maybe our own concert hall. I don't know how it's going to work, but I always thought I'd open up a restaurant that I could play at every night. but we need a place, like we need a record. I guess we need what do we need? A record label? What do we need?
You need to.
Well, then we all need to get together and record and tour. Oh, we're doing that. Okay. Good. I have everything. Oh shit.
All you need is love.
All you need is love. Love is all you need. That's all you
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you. Love from all the cast.
Hello.
Hello.
Come on, invite.